¿Cómo están mis amigos? We're going to start this video off with the famous coffee shop, Starbucks. The largest Starbucks in the world is located in Chicago, Illinois. It's a Starbucks reserve roastery that houses coffees from around the world. It opened its doors in November of 2019. The building sits at 35,000 square feet and is 5 stories tall. The building also has a 56-foot cask that holds the coffee beans and the first curved escalator in the Midwest. So Volkswagen not only makes vehicles but also makes currywurst sausages. Ever since the company started back in 1938, Volkswagen would produce food for its employees. The sausage was created by Volkswagen butchers in 1973. It isn't known when Volkswagen started selling to the public, but the sausage is only sold in Europe. Dealerships in Germany will give 5 packs of currywurst to the customers as a gift for purchasing one of their vehicles. Ironically, Volkswagen listed the sausage in the official Volkswagen parts list and gave it an item number, which is number 199398500A. It turns out that the first passengers to ever ride in a hot air balloon were a sheep, a rooster, and a duck. Scientist Pilatre De Rozier launched the first hot air balloon on September 19, 1783. It was named Aerostat Réveillon. King of France Louis XVI witnessed the flight along with an audience of around 130,000 people. King Louis actually proposed the use of prisoners as passengers, but the animals were used for scientific reasons. The balloon flew for 8 minutes and up to 3.2 kilometers. I know I can't be the only one that hates having hiccups. Well, Charles Osborne had hiccups for 68 years straight. His hiccups started back in 1922 after he fell to the floor from picking up a 348-pound pig. From then on, he would hiccup 40 times every minute during his wake time and none while he slept. Apparently his friend shot Osborne in the back to scare the hiccups away, but it only scared Osborne because it didn't work. During his later years, his doctor told him that he busted a blood vessel the size of a pin in his brain when he fell. His hiccups finally stopped in February of 1990 and he sadly passed away a year later. Alright, so apparently a stray dog was hired as a car consultant at a Hyundai dealership in Brazil. The manager, Emerson Mariano, began seeing a stray dog hanging around the building. Days went by and he continued to see the pup around the building, so he decided to leave some food and water for him. The dog continued to return, so Mariano decided to adopt him and name him after Hyundai's SUV, Tucson. Tucson was given a home and a position among the Hyundai team. Tucson was given his own badge and spends his days at the dealership where he sits in on meetings, gets behind the wheel, and interacts with the customers. He also has an Instagram account which has over 130,000 followers. His username is @Tucson_prime if y'all want to go check it out. The oldest living person as of this video is 119 years old. Her name is Kane Tanaka. She was born in 1903. She married a rice shop owner at the age of 19 and worked in the store until she was 103. She has lived through 49 Summer and Winter Olympic Games. Tanaka now lives in a nursing home in Fukuoka Prefecture. Her family states that she keeps her mind busy by doing math and remaining curious. Her great-granddaughter also states that she still drinks Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola also gifted her 2 personalized bottles with her name and age. Tanaka was also supposed to have carried the 2020 Olympic torch, but it was sadly postponed. There is a small farm in China that breeds giant pigs that weigh more than female polar bears. The farm is owned by Peng Kong and his biggest pig weighs over 1,100 pounds. A female polar bear weighs up to 650 pounds. The reason for this type of breeding is due to an illness that killed many farm animals, creating a pig shortage. It's stated that Kong's large pigs sell over 10,000 yuan, which is quite a bit for a small farming operation. It's also stated that once the country recovers from the livestock shortage, the giant pig breeding trend will probably continue. So, normally after a chicken is beheaded, we assume it's dead, right? Well, not for Headless Mike. This rooster lasted 18 months without its head. On September 10th, 1945, Lloyd Olson was cutting the heads off chickens for market in Fruita, Colorado. As he was cutting, he noticed one decapitated chicken pick itself up and start running around the yard. Olson grabbed the chicken, named it Mike, and placed it in a box on the porch. Olson was in disbelief when he found Mike still alive the next day. It turns out that Mike survived due to his chicken anatomy. His brain is located behind his head, so when Olson beheaded him, he left the part of the brain that controls his breathing and other bodily functions. Olson would feed Mike by dripping liquid food and water into his esophagus with a dropper. Headless Mike sadly drowned in his own mucus on March 17, 1947. Alright, so this one is pretty interesting. A Nigerian woman was caught with 229 pounds of snails at Heathrow Airport in London. The traveler was detained after she entered the Red Channel in the baggage reclaim area. She stated that she had a small item to collect which caused suspicious staff to carry out a search on her luggage. They opened one of her bags and found the snails among her clothes. She had more snails in all of her other bags. Apparently that was the largest seizure of snails at the airport. The snails are thought to be the giant African snail that's properly named Agatina agatina. The reason for her carrying the snails is unknown, but it's stated that the snails can go for a lot of money in many places. Okay, so this last one is a tragic one. It sadly turns out that a son decapitated his mother and left her body in the street, and neighbors mistook it for a Halloween display. The mother's name was Patricia Ward, and she was 66 years old when she was murdered. She was a college professor at Farmingdale State College for 28 years. According to Miss Ward's co-workers, she was a very quiet and soft-spoken person. Her son, Dereck Ward, was 35 years old when he committed the crime. Apparently, he had a history of psychiatric problems dating back 10 years before the murder. Officers stated that they both lived in the same apartment for 3 months and never received any type of complaints. Miss Ward's body was found near a house decorated with Halloween pumpkins, fake cobwebs, and a fake grave. One neighbor stated that it looked fake and that she thought it was a stupid Halloween prank. Another neighbor said that they literally thought it was a prank, but it sadly wasn't. Dereck also ended his own life minutes after he committed the murder by walking in front of a train. Alright mis amigos, that brings us to the end of the video. Let me know what was your favorite fact down below. Also, let me know if you'd want to try some currywurst sausage from Volkswagen, and what you would do if you had hiccups for 68 years. Thanks for watching and hasta la próxima.